Monday the 9th of May and it's National Gardening Day, and you are meant to wear a crown of flowers, so I am playing in the garden with flowers in my hair. It's quite a pretty crown as well, this one, so let's take a look at what's going on in May. Forget-me-nots are just absolutely everywhere. They've really self-seeded well. Gosh, what a change, eh? So after the awful weather of April, with the snow, the frost, the hail, the wind, no rain, the sun, and then we hit May and we've had frost and we've had rain and hot. It's one of those troublesome months again. So the cold frame is still full, the runner beans are still in there. I'm not going to risk putting them out in the garden. But look at these lupins coming on. And the salvias at the back, so they're a red salvia. Really thrilled with the lupins. There are a few there. You can see they just need repotting better. Right, round to the potatoes. Top the potatoes off with grass clippings. And this is a mulch. This will hold in moisture and it will help them by shading the potatoes as they develop and stop them going green. And this is ready for the courgettes. There are loads and loads of worm castings in there, and that'll be ready for the courgettes. Looking at the fruit trees, we have got flowers on all of the fruit trees. We've got the strawberries are in flower, the blueberries coming through. The little apple tree has got some flower buds on it. Where are they? Can't see them at the moment. In here I have got the French climbing bean and the kohlrabis. The kohlrabis are here. And then turning around, broad beans, these are doing incredibly well. We should start harvesting these within the next few weeks. Then here I've got some more French climbing beans and I've been stringing up the arch ready to take these. Onions doing well. And the same for the shallots, and at the back you've got the Faunus blackberries and the taberries starting to make a nice shape. The garlic, no rust yet. Fingers crossed I'm going to escape without that. Then we've got the mange too. This is the Shiraz. This is the purple Shiraz coming through on some gladioli stems. At the front, some celeriac. I've got 4 plants there. And then into the bed behind, there's about 12 further plants in here. At the back, I've got the burgundy stemmed and flowering sunflowers, so they should pop their heads above the fence. Into this I've planted some French climbing beans at the front here, and then in here we have got 3 different types of spring onions, Layla I believe, and then I've forgotten, but they're in there. Coming around the outside we have got the kale and the asparagus bed. This is its first year, but there's quite a few spikes, but I won't pick these because you want all of that strength to go back into the roots for next year. Then you can harvest. Looking at the parsnips, coming on really well. It took about 3 sowings to get them. These are the spring raspberries. We've got 1, 2, 3 plants there. No signs of shooting up yet, but they are putting on leaf. Radishes, look at these. These are the ones that are like the carrots. They're doing really well, and I have thinned them out. So going through, it's just being really, really good at looking where they are. There's a huge clump here, thin them out. What I tend to do is try and plant them in again. So these are the thinnings out in the middle of the carrot bed, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of carrots there, all up and all doing really, really well. More shallots. Now this does look incredibly weedy here with the shallots because there was meant to be beetroot in there. There's one. There's somewhere. There he is. Yeah, not doing great there. Sweet peas, this basket is from B&Q from a few years ago, and I've used it again this year to do the sweet peas, and then with the hazel sticks I've built this to hold it upright and frame the sweet peas. Rhubarb, can't actually harvest them because this is their first year in here. There's 3 crowns in there. They are doing really well and I will give them a liquid feed. Yeah, give them a liquid feed. I've made some nettle feed, so I'll show you that in a second. The peas starting to do really well, and this is another pot of parsnips. This has been planted about 2 weeks apart from the ones I just showed you. Successional planting. Horseradish. They are thugs horseradish, so you have to be brutal with them. Here we go, nettle. This will start to stink. I'll put the lid back on when I've stopped filming. It's starting to green up, and that will be used as a high nitrogen feed for the vegetable patch. Going through where the runner beans were, they did die. They didn't survive the frost. I'm so silly. There we go. You win some, you lose some. There's celeriac in here under these. Going into lettuces. And the purple, Brussels sprouts, spinach, and then we got the chards going through here. We've got 2 rows of chards. They're looking really, really healthy. More chard here under these Coke bottles. Nasturtium, a variegated one. Look at the lettuces, they are doing incredibly well. Both the red and the green there. Can't wait to start harvesting those. Bit weedy here, but we're just waiting for seedlings to take off, and then you can find out which ones are seedlings and which ones are weeds. So for instance, that there is a radish, and then there's some beetroot just there. These here are root parsleys, so you actually can use the whole part of this plant. You can use the leaves and you can grate the root, which is really good. Beetroots that got eaten by the pigeons, but they're starting to sprout back up again. And then in here we've got some more spinach and purple sprouting. I mean, with the potatoes, it's quite a thick layer on there. I do this every year. It does seem to keep the moisture in. It's really good. About to turn. So here we are in the pet cemetery. So nice part of the garden. We've got the forget-me-nots in here. Lots of hostas. Can I just point out that the wool is doing incredibly well. So these are wool pellets, non-toxic obviously, so there's no harm to wildlife. And look at these hostas. I can show you all the hostas in the garden. I haven't got one nibble from a pesky slug on them. Foxgloves coming up through. The viburnum at the back is looking a bit poorly, and I think that's because a dog sat on it. I have kept some of the stinging nettles, and that's because it's good for the wildlife. Then coming through here, the hedges had a trim back. Oh, excuse me. The hedges had a trim back, and we're just about to put a border through here just to retain all of the nettles and that back under the head. Got the aqualegias are just about to come into flower. At the back here where the dog's been digging up, there is a hydrangea which hopefully will survive the dog's attempts to kill it. Through the back here we've got hollyhocks, forget-me-nots, aqualegias, wallflowers, lots and lots of forget-me-nots, loads of them. Oh gosh, too many plants. Got the bleeding hearts there. This has gone over because of the frost the other night, but the last few ones that are remaining the bees are making the most of. So we have a robin's nest just there. Got hanging baskets, put them down outside the stable. A little robin's nest there. The apple trees are in full flower. Coming into the shady border, the last of the camellia flowers, and now we've got the, I believe this is called bride's bouquet or something, and these are just the prettiest little white flowers coming into where this mass of daisies are. I managed to get a few clumps out of it, but gosh, it was heavy going, really hard roots. Through the forget-me-nots. The cow parsley I've left because I like this in vases. And then going through these borders, it's just waiting and seeing what's coming up. We've got delphiniums in here. We've got more acrolegias. This is chamomile to make tea. We've got lots and lots of geraniums. Got roses, they're all doing really well. The old Brescia that I rescued. Let's put on some growth. That's doing well. Oh, look at these really lovely late flowering white daffodils with the pink of the tulips. Got some Solomon seal in here. You see that? Absolutely love Solomon seal. Really chuffed to have found that here last year. What a mess. So this is going to be a project for the next few weeks. It's just making sense of this border straight outside the back door. It needs to be a lot tidier. We're in the process of lining the well and creating an illusion in the middle to make it look deeper than it actually is, and add water to it. Tulips are looking really good under there. Right, going through the herb bed, we've got this is really bang on trend this year. This is the chocolate mint. Oh, it smells gorgeous. My new sage. And then coming through, we've got variegated sage there, some nasturtiums, the catmint, or catnip I think it's called, parsleys, nerines, chives, more mint, and more chives. Isn't this still joyous? I think this has been 3 weeks now. The ranunculus is just so gorgeous. Chili plants. And then tomatoes, all doing really well. Sweet corn, black kale. We've got the straw flowers, cosmos, honesty, delphiniums in the purple right at the end. Coming through, we have got, I'm trying to remember, they are marigolds, anthrymons. I've got some fennel, got lots and lots of lobelia, more straw flowers. Under there we've got leeks, the courgette plants. In there we've got the pumpkins and the butternut squashes. Coming through, tomarillos, and then the irises under here. So that's it for today's tour. Just a quick whip around the garden. It's drizzly outside, so I've come in and I'm just going to pick up my paintbrushes and do a few paintings of some of the plants from the garden. So wishing you all a lovely Sunday and see you all very soon. Bye bye.